Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Champions Cup. This one a semi-final between Toulouse and the Harlequins. Now on the other side of the semi-final picture, we know that it is Leinster who have booked themselves the spot to the final. They were victorious over the Northampton Saints. Now, of course, this game taking place in France. A huge advantage normally would be in the favour of Toulouse, but we know the Harlequins are a side that enjoy being underdogs and enjoy proving people wrong. Looking through at this Toulouse lineup, and boy is it stacked from start to finish. Sirubai, Pietro Malvaca and Dorian Aldiegri, so an all-international front row for Toulouse in this contest, and that is not where it ends. Flemont and Miafu will be the locking duo with Francois Creux and number 6, Jack Willis and Ruma slotting in as the number 8, Antoine Dupont. He isn't with the 7th circuit at the moment with the French side. He is instead going to be playing for Toulouse in this game with Roman Intermac on his outside at number 10, Peter Aki in the midfield alongside Paul Costes, and then Matthias Lebel, and on one wing, Juan Cruz Malia out on the other with the international Blair Kinghorn slotting in at number 15. Then in the starting lineup for the Harlequins, it is Finn Baxter, a youngster with a lot of talent at loose head prop, Jack Walker at 2, and Will Collier slotting in as the tight head prop. Herbst and Luis going to be there as the locking duo with Cunningham himself at 6, Evans at 7, and Alex Dombrand at number 8. Him versus Ruma, I think, is going to be a very intriguing one for throughout this game. Danny Kerr and Marcus Smith will be the 19 combo. A lot of pace and a lot of unpredictability across those two men. Andre Esterhuizen in the midfield alongside Northmore, and then out on one wing Murley, out on the other Lewis Liner and Tyrone Green slotting in at number 15. But in the chat, I've got our man Hamish, and I'm out the zone with this click from Rome. Says Rugby, feeling better, you sound a bit better. My voice has come back, that's a bonus. Like, my nose is killing me at the moment. You guys might be able to see how red it is, but yeah, hopefully I'm not too bad for the rest of this live stream. Like, there will be times that I have to either mute to cough or mute to deal with my face, but other than that, we should be all good. I can't see Harlequins doing the impossible. You must not forget they lost there over 2 years ago. I mean, 2 years is a long time. We got to remember, in like 2 years ago, the South African sides almost weren't even a part of the URC, Mono Lagrange. So, yes, you can look at historically what the results have been between these two sides, but you can also look at form and what's been happening more recently. We saw the Harlequins beat Bordeaux. That was a game that no one saw them winning because they were going into France and it was going to be an extremely difficult and challenging contest, yet they pulled it off and they managed to get themselves the victory. But we will look here at what those last 3 games for the Quins have been. Like I mentioned, up against Bordeaux, managing to win that one 42 points to 41 in an away thriller. Then up against Sale Sharks, they were defeated 37 points to 31 the week after, followed by a big win over the Northampton Saints. And the Gallagher Premiership for Toulouse, they were able to get themselves a massive win in the quarterfinal of the Champions Cup up against Exeter. And that is the kind of result that a lot of people are anticipating seeing here up against the Harlequins. But it's just very, very hard to tell what type of Quins side we're going to see. And just because they are down at halftime, of course, does not mean that they will be out of this contest. Toulouse losing the away game, winning the game at home up against Racing 92. So actually a very similar path over their last 3 games as we did see for the Harlequins as well. Looking in the chat, we have got there, this will be an ass kicking for the ages, but I'm going to enjoy every second of it. Come on, you Quins, says Sebastian. I'm on a flight tuned in here for the game, says Rugby. So that is impressive that you are flying while also watching a stream. I want to say it's not the first time we've had someone watching our stream on an aeroplane. We've had a few people watching it from the actual stadium that the game has taken place. Toulouse lost in the 2022 last. That reason why it's impossible. Wait. Toulouse lost in the 2022 last. That reason why it's impossible. They lost in the last. What do you mean the last? Like, as in like the last minute? I know that Toulouse went down to the wire with Munster and it went to a kickoff a few years ago. That was quite an entertaining way to close out a game. You don't see it too much in the modern era, a game being decided by a kicking competition. I leave the first half just about to get underway. Toulouse, they'll be going from right to left and they will be kicking off this ball first. Andrew Brace in charge of this one. Ollie Hodges will be the video official for this match. Wasn't there someone watching from church once? There was, yes. So we've been all around the place, whether that's a plane, whether that's a church, whether that's a stadium. You know, we haven't quite had someone tick it off from either Antarctica or the moon yet, but we are hopeful that one day we can make it happen. Lost home game. Toulouse lost. Lost home game, Toulouse lost. Wait, so why are you saying it's impossible for the Harlequins then, if Toulouse have lost a home game before? And Toulouse to win, says Elmar, but it is underway. Kick down towards the 22. The Harlequins in possession. And Danny Keir will now put this ball up high. Why have we got a countdown? There's a countdown with 30 seconds. Okay, no, they've taken that away. I was going to say, what type of rugby is this that you have to use it before 30 seconds? And I guess it's going to be like league with their 6 phases. But now out wide to Lewis Liner on the halfway line at the moment for the Quins. Counter right coming from Toulouse. They use the physicality and they manage to get their ball back. Now El Diegri. And the ball up. Going to be Koss playing at number 13, but he did play halfback there. A little bit of a slip from the Quins defence. Now running it for Blair Kinghorn, ex-Edinburgh player. Andre Esterhuizen to be the difference. Says Thomas Elliott. And also Hamish, the flight attendant, says hello. She likes a bit of Hamish. Is that right? A random flight attendant. Where are you flying to, rugby, out of curiosity? And Grant's been tuning in from the surface of the moon. Says Sebastian, but there is going to be a knock-on against, I think that's against the Harlequins there. But already we've actually seen Koss not only play halfback, but also have to really just move all around. He was actually in that breakdown with the counter ruck from Toulouse as well, adding a lot of aggression to the way that they are playing in this contest. Flying to Cancun from New York City. That sounds like a long flight. I can't quite remember exactly where Cancun is. Is it Mexico? Is that whereabouts Cancun is? Might be. I've just said there that they were a little bit unlucky for it to be called as the knock-on. Of course, it's weird to see a Toulouse lineup, starting side that is, without an Arnold brother. Richie Arnold going to be coming off the bench for them in this match. Massive forward packs, 921 kgs for the Harlequins, but they are out, I guess, weighed by this Toulouse starting forward pack. My front rows have gone down, I should say. 3.5 hours only. Yeah, it's in Mexico, and Viva Mexico, says Sebastian there as well. How do I tell you this? March 2020 is the last time Toulouse lost at home. That's a lot better way of wording it, Monet, than the way that you did. And that makes sense now. Like, I was very confused when you were saying about how they had lost. And then I was like, well, that sounds like they're not unbeatable then. But yeah, it's been a while since Toulouse have lost a home game. But the Harlequins have also caused a lot of upsets over the years that people didn't expect. That's all I'm going to say. So we can't rule them completely out. It's going to be a tough game though. One moment. We'll quickly mute. Scrum feed for Toulouse, who do decide to shift it away to the right-hand side, and they will go for a little kick in behind with Juan Cruz Malia. It just goes into touch. That was close. Just the unfortunate bounce of the ball goes over the head of the Argentinian international. Harlequins for the win here. Good luck, gents. Says the Blues, Nate. And there as well. But I should mention anyone who is new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. The winner of this game will go on to face the winner, which we already know, which is Leinster. Now, Dupont going back across Flamand manages to get the line-out turnover. Toulouse are being relentless at the moment in the early stages of this contest. Big run forward. Getting the offload away was Miafu. Offloaded him behind from Pietro Mavaka, and it's on the outside. Matthias Lebel scores the first try of the contest for Toulouse, and they are now on the board. That's going to start to the match that this French side would have been after as well, to put the pressure on the Quins early. They're a little bit like the Crusaders, though, the Harlequins, and I know that Seb will take offence to that, but the reason I say that is because everyone will already think that they are down and out, but you just never know what they're going to do in a second 40 minutes. Damn, that was quick. Says a rugby there. It looks like you are a little better. I wouldn't guarantee that, but we're in high hopes at the moment. And hopefully we're a little bit better either tomorrow or the next day. 5 minutes in at the moment. It's like Blair Kinghorn will actually be the man off the kicking tee, I believe. That's an interesting call rather than Roman Intermac. They're actually going with Blair Kinghorn. Though it is a long shot, I agree. Though now Toulouse have scored already, says Brian. Yeah, it will hurt a little bit conceding that early try from the Harlequins. But, I mean, that game up against Bordeaux, they had a dream start. You know what I like about New Zealand? You're not required by law to have the same haircut as David Seymour as in North Korea, says JD. Yeah, I mean, it's very handy, I guess you could say. I think that I'll have the David Seymour haircut in the very near future, though, because my hair, I think, is slowly going further back. And eventually I'll have to shave it off. But that is going to be now an unsuccessful kick from Blair Kinghorn. Just misses it away to the side. Thomas Ramos shaking his head on the bench. I don't think the camera was supposed to catch that. Our rugby chat loves an underdog, don't they? Says Sebastian, and it's crazy Ramos is on the bench. It is. They've decided to back Blair Kinghorn in this matchup. Oh, that's taken in the air from Andre Esterhazen. My apologies. HD, I can see the sweat. Says Robert, you talking about me or the game? Because what you think is sweat might actually be, I've got some Vicks on my chest. And I put tons of it on so that my nose would stop playing up. Which it is still playing up, but yeah, there's a ton of it on there. Which does make it look like I am, as you can see, it looks like I'm very wet. But I'm not. Yes, you. No, it's just like a vapor rub, as they call it, so that it's less, like, so that my nose is clear, even though it's not really anyway. As proven by the fact that I just had to blow it just then. Scott will take it personally against an English side. So tell me, Hamish, who the final in Singapore and what was the score? So New Zealand managed to win that game in the end by just the 3 points. In the end, 17 points to 14. Toulouse on fire these days. They have to be the favourites to beat Leinster. Although, where's that final being played? I think it is in England, isn't it? Beautiful run in here from Antoine Dupont. Look for the offload on the inside. But it is going to be Marcus Smith who ends up with that ball. Toulouse ruthlessly trying to push them over the touchline. Already 8 minutes into this contest, still 5-0 for Toulouse, but for how long? They've got numbers. Peter Aki, he considered the kick, but instead realised he was Peter Aki and he doesn't like kicking, so instead went for the pass. Just get better, okay, says Robert. I will try my best. Yep, final one, Twickenham, mate. Yeah, so I feel like, in a weird way, that's the equaling factor. Because Toulouse at home, like was mentioned earlier on from Mornay, they haven't lost a game there in quite some time. Little flick on the inside from Antoine Dupont. That is a bit cheeky from that man. It's what we're going to see from him in the sevens as well. London, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, says Mark McDonald. My wife says if you put Vicks on the bottom of your feet when you go to bed, it's a good cure. Yeah, although it doesn't say it on the jar to put it on the bottom of your feet. It says your back, your chest, and your neck, I think it was, or something like that. But yeah, I'm not actually sweating profusely for anyone who thinks that I'm a shiny. Look at that. I'm so shiny. It's like I've oiled myself up getting ready to watch the rugby. Which would be a very weird thing to do. But 10 metres out from the line now for Toulouse. Peter Aki will play halfback. Skip pass out to Pietro Malwaka. Look for the offload, but it was a risky one and it's gone forward. Hamish, would you say that Gibson Park is the best player in the world right now? Tell you what, as much of a controversial take as it is, I think that he's right up there. You know, like, depending on who you talk to, of course, will depend on their rankings of halfbacks. But, like, for me, like, him, Antoine Dupont, and see, the third one gets you in trouble, depending on who you say. But those two definitely are up there. Best two halfbacks in the world at the moment, I believe. In different ways as well. That's what makes it So intriguing. It's cheaper to listen to the Kiwi Lads commentary instead of paying dollars for these matches. Says Blues now, or Tottenham Stadium, sorry. Says Sebastian. And can you imagine the Quins fans flooding Twickenham? It would be mental. And it looks like it was good weekend, New Zealand, and the both sevens, men and women. Yep, both getting themselves the wins. He's better than Kitsoff, unlike the way the URC stats suggest. Yeah, that's really weird, the way that the URC statistics have it. Like, power rankings-wise, Stephen Kitsoff is number 1. And I think even Ulster supporters, even Stormers supporters, South African supporters would agree that Kitsoff at the moment is not the best player in the whole URC competition. Yes, he's had some good games, but I don't think I'd put him... This is controversial as well. We might as well stir up the controversy. I don't think I'd put him in my top 25 in terms of current URC players. I think that there are a lot of other guys who have been doing a lot better. And now front row of Toulouse has crumbled, which allows the Quins to get themselves the penalty from 5 metres out of their own line. And the Port frustrated with it. Of course, there was that knock-on from Toulouse. Harlequins turning it into a penalty. Kitsoff has been very disappointing for Ulster, and he's actually gone back now to South Africa. His contract with Ulster, both sides decided that they would part ways in the end. And go for it, mate. He's ginger. He's used to abuse. Oh, brutal. Sebastian, let's go the Quins. Says Rugby. Yeah, it was actually Finn Baxter. Did extremely well up against Aldiegri. And let's go Quins, make a game of it. A lot of important people watching on for this game, of course. Now line out throw for Jack Walker. And some people may not even know much about this Harlequins side, but they are a side that are known for their second half comebacks. And they can be down by 20 at half time, still come back to win a game. That just seems to be the way that they play, and they have got themselves another penalty there for not rolling away against Francois Crew. He is not happy with Andrew Brace, the referee, but he has been penalised. Andre Estesen says Marcus Smith is the best 10 he has ever played with. Oh, that's controversial, isn't it? I'm sure Pollard didn't like that statement. Although, did they ever play together throughout that World Cup? I know that often it was Marnie Libok at 10 or Valimza at 10, and then they went with Estesen and Moody. So maybe he's never played with Andre Pollard. Now I think about it, are there any smoke shows in the crowd? I mean, they had a little bit of a smoke show earlier on before the match got underway on the field, but other than that, not that I have seen. At this point, don't forget to hit the likes, lads. 50 plus watching, only 14 likes. Says Brian. So yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that like button as well. Nicely taken by Cutting himself. Got himself the opportunity in the most recent Six Nations. Nice running forward from the Quins. Moved to about 15 metres out from the try line. 19 now, says Brian. As times I generally just watch the second half. I know that's when the Quins crack on. And it's a little bit similar to that game between Leinster and Northampton. In terms of when people were asking whether it was a good game or not, I said second half was great. First half, not so much, unfortunately. Like, there were still 2 tries for James Lowe, though. Other than that, there wasn't really that much going. Hey, howdy, hey, y'all. Said Scrum. Let's welcome in, Katie. If you are keeping well, of course, a bit of a Quins supporter as well. Hoping to see them do well. And tell you what, they're getting close to the try line now. I am also getting very close to sneezing, but this will be the worst time to do it, seeing as the Quins are right on the try line. 7 metres out. I think we're going to have to take the risk and sneeze first. One moment. We're good. But 10 metres out from the line now. And come on, you Quins and Queens need to respond quickly. He said compared to Pollard and Marnie. Yes, that is a big statement. Another penalty advantage in favour of the Harlequins. Danny Kerr trying to snipe round the side of the breakdown. Now, still 5 metres out. Dom Brown. He wanted to reach for that so badly, but he just got a little bit too far away from the line. Here comes Marcus Smith, steps through, and the best fly half that Andre Estesen has ever played with has just scored herself the try. That's how you answer back. If you are the Harlequins, you just keep on putting phases together, make the most of the penalty advantages that you receive, and they've scored themselves the try now, the Harlequins. It all came from a good set piece off the back, going on the blind side and making those extra metres to eventually go phase after phase. and get in for the try. Alex Dombrandt was so close to oh, did he knock that on? That was very close to a knock on in the breakdown, but I believe it is going to be try allowed. And Marcus Smith is the man who has been able to score it. Game on, nice one, says Rugby. I'm going to say it. It's going to be controversial as well, though. Already in the first 14 minutes, I think that we've had more entertainment than that Leinster versus Northampton Saints game. That is nothing against Leinster. That is nothing against the Saints. It was just with the amount of drop balls throughout the first kind of 30 or so minutes, it just didn't really feel like a semi-final. Felt like an exhibition. The Leinster side was still very strong at finishing when they had their opportunities, but this one's been a little bit more back and forth. It's been fast-paced, and the Quins have taken the lead 7 points to 5. It looks like I must eat my words. Harlequins are here to play, says Mono Lagrange. And while the Quins really rate Marcus Smith, fantastic player and very good hair. He's got a decent haircut. Oh, Marcus Smith. You got Intermac, though. He's got a decent head of hair himself. And boy, Hamish out there doing the commentary when he's got a cold. Bless you, Hamish. Says Katie. Yeah, we've probably done way more this weekend than we should have in terms of commentary. We ended up doing pretty much the whole of the Sevens competition, Super Rugby, Champions Cup. But we're still here, which is good. And we haven't had an orange yet. We were going to have one earlier on to see if that would help. Instead, I had some sweet chili sauce. Not by itself, though. I had some nuggets with it. So, should be primed and ready for this match. 2 best players in the world, Marcus Smith and Leon Kennedy and Resident Evil. Says Sebastian now Toulouse. They've got a bit of space opening up on the outside. It's going to be a well controlled by Juan Cruz Malia. A rush defence and pressure extorted result in the Saints' eras. Says Mark McDonald. Yeah, like, that's the thing. Leinster were doing extremely well, right? But the only thing about that was, in terms of the flowingness of the game, it did stop it from being as nice to watch, if that makes sense. Like, it's not me trying to discredit what Leinster did, because, like you said, Leinster were the reason that Northampton looked like absolute rubbish throughout the first half. But it didn't have that same, good go forward like we would normally see in a playoff contest. Does that make sense? Without, once again, all credit to Leinster. I don't think that I want this to sound like I'm, saying that they played badly. Like, they had the game that they needed. One moment, I'm about to sneeze. But yeah, I think everyone just expected more in that first half. And I think Leinster, they will probably look at that second half and go, why couldn't we get more points? James Lowe, though, fantastic performance from him. Same with Jameson Gibson Park. Saints missed Slate home. I think he would have reduced Leinster by 5 and added 5 to the Saints. Says Jay, that's going to be now another penalty going the way of Toulouse. They may actually consider taking the 3 points here for the Toulouse side. A bit of a change in mind there. And doing some renovations to the house. Getting ready for my mother's foot surgery in a month. Busy. Glad to be back and having some rugby breaks. Says Katie. Well, yeah, I do hope that your mum's foot does recover. Foot surgery. Has she broken her foot, or is it something else to do with the foot? Katie, hopefully it is nothing that's going to hold her back too much. Have you ever tried Red Bull energy drink? I have not, no. Rossburn missed 4 kicks worth 9 points. Says a rugby there as well. That's going to be thrown in. Looking to roll this one forward for Toulouse. They're sitting about 5 metres out from the line. I started watching sumo wrestling too, and now I'm obsessed. Okay. That's very close, and they're over Toulouse. But were they held up? They might want to check this one here to make sure that he has got a clear grounding of the ball. And yeah, good wishes and speedy recovery to your mum, Katie. See you, Sebastian. They are just going to be checking this one, like I mentioned, to see exactly whether or not that one has gone down over the line. Sounds like they're missing an on-field decision at the moment. Oh, the try is good. They've got the grounding. And Toulouse now are going to take the lead back, making the score 10 points to 7. Yes, Leinster needs to sort their kicking issue out in the final. And that's the thing that in the Challenge Cup was so effective for the Sharks, because in their game up against Clermont, having 8 from Masuku is just you know, it's incredible for a playoff final, and that's exactly what you need. Definitely when you win by 1 point. If he had missed any of his kicks, Sharks would have lost that game in terms of the points that they had. Leeds need to sort out that kicking issue in the final. And she's got an atomic bunion that she's been bothering her for years, wonky foot. She's done with wonky foot. Here's Katie. Now lining up this kick for Toulouse. Do apologise if the voice sounds a little bit rough, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently trying to fight off a pretty rough cold, but we didn't want to miss this game. It is currently 2:20 a.m. here in New Zealand on a Monday morning. But I don't know about you, but when the rugby's on, sleep can wait. I'm thinking this could be a high scorer, 6-70. Surprisingly, Frawley didn't kick after Ross's first miss. Yeah, although first miss, you probably could understand why they didn't switch straight away, if that makes sense. One moment, I'm going to sneeze again. We're good. They're actually just talking about the new kicking law. How they added the timer so that they could speed up the game, but the kickers are actually taking longer because they're trying to wear down as much of the 60 seconds as they're allowed. I just said 60 in a really Kiwi accent I just learned. You sound much better than yesterday, mate, said Sebastian. Yeah, the voice, like earlier on today, it sounded awful, but since I've started talking a little bit more, it's warmed up to the point of not being absolutely terrible, but the kick has gone over. The score now 12 points to 7 at the moment. Toulouse inside of their 22, 60. It did sound that way, didn't it? Came out quite New Zealand-ified. Looking for the box kick here, Antoine Dupont. Down towards the halfway line, Tyrone Green running onto it, and has taken the ball beautifully. Looking for the counter-ruck there was Jack Willis, and that has almost started the turnover. But it's still on the side of the Quins. Looks like they're going to be leaving this one for the halfback to come in, which is Danny Kerr for this contest. Him and Marcus Smith, of course, having a little bit of time off the English bench, mainly throughout that Six Nations. Danny Kerr being told to use it now. Let's put it up high. Waiting for this one to come down nicely, taken by Roman Intermac. Looking for that next gap. Already we have seen the 2 tries being scored by Toulouse. First of which being scored by Lebel, who was about to chase after this ball. Looks like he's sprinting after it too. Might end up having a half a contest at it. Nicely taken by Tyrone Green again. Under the high ball. Way to the left-hand side now. Little pop pass after Marcus Smith. One more to Lewis Liner. They're trying to find that space. But Toulouse in their backline just doesn't really work out too well for them. We have good there, you mean the Hollywood Bet Sharks? What about the ethics of taking sponsorship from a company that takes the betting losses from Africans and pays some of it to the club? CSJ, I mean, I still call them the Cell C Sharks, to be honest. Like, I know that they've got a new sponsor, but I still know them as the Cell C Sharks. Just more fun to say as well. Doesn't sound like a sponsor, even though it is, if that makes sense. Now, Roman Intermac going to be kicking this one into the corner. Well, into the corner of the halfway line. Now 50 metres out. Line out throw for Toulouse. How do Toulouse look dominant? How's it looking? I mean, they've had some very good moments defensively, and it seems to be that counter ruck that's working very well for this Toulouse side. But I'd still say the Quins are in it. Like, they have shown some good physicality throughout the first 23 minutes as well. And I think that's what they have to do here up against Toulouse. Nicely thrown in by Jack Walker. Now going to the left-hand side, Marcus Smith in behind, grub it from Lewis Liner, and it's curling beautifully, and it's gone into touch 5 metres out. Lebel thought about taking it quickly, but that would have been a huge risk with them only being 5 metres out from their own try line. I bloody hate sports bookies. They've assaulted the world of sports. Now they're bloody everywhere. It bothers me too, to be fair. See Sebastian. Like, I always read out, like, the betting odds, but we always say you shouldn't be putting money on it just because, like, you're just bound to eventually lose. Like, some people think that they're really good at guessing, which is pretty much all it is in terms of who's going to win these games of rugby But yeah, I could never do it only because I'm terrible at predictions. That's going to be another try for the Harlequins, ladies and gents. Who is that? He looks familiar. I think it's William Evans. Is it? It sounds like Toulouse crowd are not happy. Looks like a little bit of push and shove. Now, Toulouse are normally known for their rolling maul defence, whereas the Harlequins have just cut them open here and gone straight up the middle to score that rolling maul try. I'm a fan of both Union and League. I prefer Union more, but I'm not sure why can't Union players tackle powerfully like League players. I think it's all to do with the breakdown, really. One moment. I'll just quickly mute for a second, then we will go. Right, we are good. Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because I think in League, the player is kind of working with you, if that makes sense. Whereas in Rugby Union, your first instinct when you're getting just about smashed is to try and turn so that you can place the ball on your side. Whereas in League, you can go full tilt straight into them because at the end of the day, you don't have to place the ball. You're just going to hang on to it. And I think that's something to do with it. Also, just like some Rugby League players are built different in terms of the speed that they play at. Let's go, y'all. Ute. Series of Blues, Nate, and well done, Quins. In my head, Rugby Union players tend to fall before they get tackled. And I think that is a little bit like what I said about how you're always thinking about, right, if I go to ground here, I've got to fall the right way and I've got to place the ball back. Because we've seen it so many times. If you fall on your back or you fall the wrong way, opposition get the ball. Oh, Marcus Smith has not hit that one well. Shanked it away to the left-hand side. The score will now remain at 12-12 between these two sides after the 25 minutes. You know the Quinn strategy. Offense is the best defense. You win games by scoring more points than your opponent. Crack on. Sounds like a cracking game. We have to watch a replay when I'm off this flight. So here's Rugby, and yeah, it's a very high scoring one at the moment. 26 minutes in, already 12-12. 4 tries being scored between these two sides. Quins know how to score tries. Can they score more than Toulouse? That's the tricky part. Toulouse are also very clinical. They were able to get 60-plus points up against the Exeter Chiefs in their quarter-final fixture. Going to be kicked high now. Andre Esterhuizen taking it inside of the Quins 22. And he's forced backwards in a powerful tackle by the Toulouse forward who once again go for that counter ruck. But to the Harlequins, oh Novus. That's a poor bit of work from Cunningham himself. And that is going to be the try for Flamand, who gets the third of the match for Toulouse. Now, what I was about to say is to the Harlequins' credit, anytime that ball has come out the back from a counter ruck, the Harlequins have still been able to retain it. But in that scenario, Flamand put a little bit more pressure on Cunningham himself, which then led to the ball popping out and then just slapped out of his hands by Flamand. Now, they may just check this to make sure that Flamand didn't bump it into Cunningham himself's arm, because if he did, that would be a knock-on, but I think that's clear to be a try for Flamand. And now the French side take the lead once more. And Poopy says, let's go the Quins. This is closer than expected, says Jay. And damn, that was too easy. It was. Like, we were just praising the Harlequins for how they had stopped that counter ruck. And another try, 5 already. 5 indeed. Yep. We have already seen Toulouse score the same amount of tries as Leinster got in their game up against the Northampton Saints. And we are only 28 minutes in. Just back from the shops. Chocolate and Hamish's commentary, says Ruth. Yeah, hopefully you were able to find everything you wanted at the shops. 28 minutes in at the moment. Okay, they were actually talking about it there. The commentators said that they could have actually gotten penalised there for Toulouse. Looked like the ball is about to be placed by Blair Kinghorn onto his kicking tee, which means we will quickly mute once again. We are good. I think my nose is currently running faster than the players out there on the field, which is quite hard to do because they have been absolutely everywhere throughout this first 28 and a half minutes. Thomas Ramos watching on, looking at Blair Kinghorn. And he's missed it again. And this will frustrate Ramos because Normally he would be the starting 15. I don't know why Roman Intermac isn't the one doing the kicking. That seems a little bit confusing to me. But they've given it to Kinghorn, who has now missed, I believe, almost all of them, other than one. He's got one kick over. Intermac, a bit disappointed there as well. The Harlequins now about to kick this one off. Like I said, 17 points to 12 after only 29 minutes. Come on, people, hit that like button. Nicely taken by Jack Willis. Matt Giddo making his debut at San Diego Legion today. How's the Quins pack doing against the massive Toulouse pack? Well, that's the thing. Toulouse have a huge 4-pack, right? But they've only got about a 12 kg advantage over the Quins. So the Quins haven't been doing too shabbily, although to Toulouse's credit, that counter ruck every once in a while that they throw at the Quins does seem to be causing a few problems. It just hasn't led them to too many opportunities to get the ball in hand. I think that that is going to be a quick tap taken by the Harlequins. They needed a halfback. Dupont is the one who gets it. I didn't mean that halfback. Now Pietro Malvaca moves up to 30 metres or so out from his own try line. Counter-attack here for Toulouse. They've got numbers on the left-hand side. Now moving up to 38 metres out. Quins some, Toulouse some. And that is going to be knocked on now by Toulouse. Counter-attack coming now for Evans. And the Harlequins, again, the 9 being played. Danny Keir's getting frustrated because every breakdown, as soon as he gets close to having his hands on the ball, someone jumps on him. Which, I mean, is a good tactic if you're not getting penalised for it. But it can also get you in a little bit of trouble if you get the timing wrong. Definitely if the Quins do end up having that same penalty go their way when they're only a few metres out from the try line. You know what I want to see, mate? A ton pack. Imagine that bloody hell, a scrummaging against 1,000 kilos. It'd be impressive, wouldn't it? I think the closest that we've seen is about 940, maybe? It's probably a French forward back too, to be fair. Or La Rochelle were right up there at one point in terms of that 930. Same with Toulouse. They are around that 930 mark. Quins are sitting at about 921, I think I saw, at the start of this game. But yeah, it would be a lot of extra food that needs to be consumed by your 4-pack. If that was the case, that's going to go down to the front rows. Andrew Brace says, we'll have another reset, thank you. 966 was Rochelle's, I think. Yes, they're probably the closest, and that's mainly Will Skelton. He's about 965 of those kgs. That was harsh. I meant because he's very tall and a big-boned man. But yeah, he's at least 150. But it's crazy to think that you do need Stolt. That's going to actually be the penalty upgrade for the Harlequins here. I think Toulouse's scrum is actually struggling here. Mainly, it's actually El Diegre who's penalised, I believe, for the second time up against Finn Baxter. Toulouse not running away here. Quins are pulling, says Ruth. Now Marcus Smith will be able to kick this one towards the touchline. For the first time today, my right nostril is actually clear, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I know that that's nothing to do with rugby, but it's very exciting for myself. We might be starting to get a little bit better, which would be ideal. 8 minutes remaining in this first half. Already we have seen 5 tries. I think the Samoan pack was massive at the World Cup, says Rugby, although they aren't actually as big as some people anticipate them to be. Like, they've got some good size about them, but I don't think they're as large. Like, Tonga's pack is normally a little bit bigger. This is going to be a kick in behind from Toulouse. The grubber's good, and it's cleaned up there at the back. Or is it? No, Dupont gets the try. One moment, I'm about to sneeze. Worst time for it to happen as well, but Toulouse have fired back with Antoine Dupont. They just want to check this one because it looked like a little grubber in behind was well controlled by the Quins for a start, but then it just all went wrong. I thought that they had a handle, which is why I popped onto the side to get ready to go achoo, but instead they went try. 10 metres out from the line. That is when it started getting interesting here. And they want to check whether or not there is a clear grounding. Dupont doesn't look too impressed, but then saying that, when does he? Doesn't smile much, that man. I think it's because his cheekbones weigh so much. It was overthrown by the Harlequins. Then just a really good step from Costas. They went for the grubber in behind. We're going to see the replay here. So initially I thought it was in the hands of the Quins. I go back to Sevens Dupont. Says Scrumless. Right, we're going to see it here. Oh, that was close to a knock on. But I think they're going to say it's play on. And the grounding was good. I think this is going to be a try for Antoine Dupont. I believe Vanapola after his taser training with Will Skelton would do it. Says Jay. French need Dan Carter. Why is that guy kicking missed conversions? Says Roof. And damn, Toulouse about to run away with this game now. Says mate. Oh, sorry, says Rugby. And hi, mate. Says Phil. Welcome in, mate. See, I'm not seeing a knock on there till, it's the Harlequins boot, I believe. Toulouse are setting up Harlequins' second half comeback wonderfully. The ball is not knocked on. The on-field decision will stand. And the try is good for Toulouse, which the crowd are absolutely loving. Just reading, the heaviest possible pack was available to France 2024 Six Nations team, 1,004 kgs. Don't know if they were all playing at the same time. Says Brian, yeah, 1,000 kg 4-pack is pretty immense, isn't it? But then you have to wonder how quickly do they gas out. That's kind of your other problem that you have when you start to go with a slightly larger pack on offer. Mia for 145 kgs, though, he's a big bloke, isn't he? Yuri Antonio even bigger with 147 kgs. And Matt Giddo still running around out there. Now playing for the Legions. Big smile on Danny Lee's face. Says Blues Nape. And now chance here for Blair Kinghorn, who has currently already missed 3 conversions in this matchup. He has only got the one over. That was the nice easy kick. Quincy a quick response to French now. Otherwise it's bye-bye. After watching sumo, seeing the weights of the rugby players is paltry. Yeah, I guess you've probably been dealing with a lot of larger blokes. Which sounds a bit dodgy, but you know what I mean. I'll be as scared as a member of the opposing scrum. Says Sebastian, but now lining up this kick. Kinghorn has got that one over. Only just. It's snuck in the post. But it's still going to remain as the score sitting 24 points to 12 in favour of Toulouse. Amiafu and Tolfa Whanua never play same time. So here's Rugby in there. Yeah, just a little bit of luck going the way of Toulouse. Although they've just dropped that ball, but it did go backwards. Now, I should mention that it's 2 tries in that wide channel that they have not been able to necessarily deal with too well, the Harlequins. So I think that will be a concern heading into the second half. Those boys like 160 kgs and doing one-on-one scrums, which is what sumo basically is. They are massive. There's Crumless. It's going to be called as a tackle. The Harlequins in possession. How has Caelan Murley been in the first half? We've hardly seen him, to be honest. Like, he's been out on the wing. He's probably touched the ball twice, maybe. Isaac Ross could come back and help us Crusaders. And 2 tries in 5 minutes. Late try by the Quins is crucial, says Jonathan Mason. A moment, my apologies. I'm gonna have to. And we are good again. A lot more sick than I was hoping to be for this weekend, ladies and gents. Cyril Roubaix gets the offload away for Dupont, who is 40 metres out from Toulouse's line. Jack Willis now in position, be right back, need a cup of tea. Says Scrumless, going off to the right-hand side here. Roman into Mac, finds it into midfield to Peter Aki, who offloads it up. Hamish, you got the flu? I do indeed, yes. Sadly, like the last league of the sevens, we got sick. So that was a pretty brutal weekend where we did about 25 to 30 hours of streaming. Then the next league of the sevens was this weekend, and we are also sick. So we pretty much only just got over our last cold. Oh, that's a great run from Puerto Malvaca. Just down short, leaves it, and guess who? It's Antoine Dupont, and he has said F you to the Quins. Again, that's his second try. That's not good for the Harlequins, although they are known as a second half team. But he's just right place, right time as the halfback, just waiting for the ball to be left out the back door. And it's just, once again, that physicality shown. Antoine Dupont, he's having a field day, of course. Both of his tries have come from only being 3 or so metres out from the try line, but you still have to be there ready to put it down. Great run from Pietro Malvaca, and then just takes it on quickly. Antoine Dupont, another Irish versus French final. Says Justin, it does look that way. And Dupont is grinding me bollocks at the moment. And brilliance from Dupont, not giving Quins a sniff. Says Ruth. Now 3 minutes left. And the score has moved up to a 7-try half at 29 points to 12. Blair King on. About to line up this kick as well. We are all right, hopefully. Is Dupont done with 7s? He is not. No, he's just back because Toulouse said, we're not playing these games without you, mate, so you better come on back or else we're going to get very angry. So he kind of got told off like he was back at school, so he's returned to the side and he's helping them very much in their last couple of games. I think I could have finished that whole bottle if I really wanted to. Could have just kept going. But the kick is good from Blair King on, and the score will now sit 31 points to 12 in favour of Toulouse. I got there Sebastian with the waving from Ruth. The game is over. See, if it was any other side from the Gallagher Premiership, I would say absolutely. Because it's the Quins, you just never know, do you? Like, we've seen them in games of the Gallagher Premiership be down by like 26 at halftime and go on to win it. Which really annoys the teams they're facing. This looks like we're going right back for... What's happened? Yeah, Harlequins were actually offside off the chase. They're going to go back to the halfway line for a scrum feed to Toulouse by the looks of it. And don't give Dupont another victory, lass. And our Harlequins... they met their match, I think, 19 points difference, difficult to overcome. I think the Quins needed to stay in touch to be in with the chance. Yeah, see, 3 tries difference does get very tricky. If it was only 2 tries, you'd still say they're in with a decent shot, but the second half's going to have to be huge for them. And the difference between this game and the game up against Bordeaux is Harlequins started that match with Bordeaux a lot better. They weren't conceding as many tries. Yes, there was still a few, but not as many as they've conceded throughout the first 39 and a half minutes here, but about to be fed in by Antoine Dupont. If they are inside of their own half here to lose, I wouldn't be surprised if they look to boot this ball out. No point really taking too many risks when you are in the position that they are. And Quins need a turbo booster second half. Now going off to the left-hand side. Chance again for Toulouse. He was very close to the touchline. The Quins keep the ball in the field of play. And now Marcus Smith with his Quins from inside of the 22. Looks like Caden Murley, I should say. The ball's going to be there again. Danny Keir. What is the plan for the Harlequins? They're inside of their 22. And the halftime siren has just sounded. Here comes Marcus Smith. Making those few extra meters. The last thing that they can afford is to concede another try here late in this first half. The ball's available. They were just checking to see whether or not the time was up. Harlequins have limited possession. They're probably around 40% at the moment, maybe even 35%, but they've still made quite a bit of ground for the lack of possession that they've had. They are now firing it out the back line once again. In the midfield, here comes Andre Esterhazen, who's gone for the grubber in behind. It's going to be a foot race picked up by Blair King on, who runs it out. You're allowed to do that. There was one game a while ago that someone got told off for running the ball out, and they actually went back for a penalty, but I think that was in the 7s. But now half-time in this matchup, ladies and gentlemen, and it is 31 points to 12. It's been a relentless first 40 minutes. And I have to say, I don't know where that half went. That was extremely speedy from both of the sides. It only took 45 minutes to get through a 40-minute half of rugby. That's what we like. Nice free-flowing game that doesn't take 15 years to get through. We haven't decided at the moment. Might go with pizza And Ray, never mind, no pain, no gain. If Toulouse win in the Premiership, or we're in the Premiership, they win most years. With Toulouse in the top 14, they win most years in their own competition. So, you know, it's an interesting one. I'm sure that second half, we will see them speed up again one moment. I've said about it already. If my nose wasn't running, I'd be fine. Like, I don't have a headache, don't have a sore throat at the moment. My throat's actually better than it was by miles yesterday, but it's just the nose is stuffy, as they say, isn't it? Looking through at the benches for these two sides, Toulouse, it doesn't exactly get easier. They've got Choco Barres and Thomas Ramos in the backs. They've got Richie Arnold as well as Julio Marchand as a replacement. In the fullback for the Harlequins, they've got Joe Marler. They also have Will Porter alongside Chisholm, Hammond, Kerrod, and Marler, who I already said, so I meant Riley. And that fullback, in terms of what is next for these two sides, for Toulouse, their next game will be up against Stade Francais. That is going to be taking place in 7 days' time. And then 14 days' time, or 13 days, they'll be taking on Montpellier. It was a home game for Montpellier. Be interesting to see how Toulouse go in that game as we get towards the business end of the top 14 for the Harlequins. Their next game is going to be up against Exeter. That is going to be at 4:30 a.m. on Sunday, New Zealand time. That'll be an evening game for you guys in England. And then they have got the Bristol Bears the week after at 2:05 a.m. And yeah, the contrast between the first half of the Leinster and Saints versus this one, opposite ends of the spectrum. Absolutely. I mean, Quins can't come back versus Toulouse, says Jay, and to paracetamol every 8 hours for 5 days, Hamish. Yeah, see, that's like the long-term plan, isn't it? But, like, in terms of just this weekend, it's been pretty tricky to try and stop my symptoms, if that makes sense. I just wanted it to behave itself, but my nose is thoroughly blocked, which is unfortunate. Harlequins doesn't know what hit them. Quins can't keep up with Toulouse, says Amorne, and also good one. But then something else that we should mention is actually the score in that Leinster versus Northampton Saints game. Leinster were up at half-time looking pretty comfortable in their performance, and then second half came around and the Saints did actually slowly get back into that contest. So, you know, maybe we know that the Harlequins are a second half team. We assume that the Toulouse side will be able to keep up with that tempo as well, but they have to make sure that they don't underestimate them here, or else that could get them in a little bit of trouble going into the second half. But do let me know your end score predictions, ladies and gents. I think that we're going to get to see probably about an 80-point game between these two sides with the way that it's currently flowing. Hello from Ireland. Patrick O'Brien here. How you doing, lads? I'm doing all right, other than a cold. Like, other than that, though, we are all bright and, what do you say? Bright and groovy? No, that's not the same. What's it called? Brighton something. And Marcus, stop crying. Where's Marcus? I assume that's Marcus Smith. I don't think he was crying throughout the game. Not that I spotted anyway. He wasn't crying when he scored his try for the Harlequins. Of course, Antoine Dupont. Scoring bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. That's the one. That is correct, Mark. You've done well. You've helped me out because that was going to annoy me for probably the rest of my evening that I couldn't think of it. Showing some highlights from the sevens. Of course, we did actually cover the sevens earlier on, ladies and gents. You guys have Flutex in New Zealand? It helps with a runny nose. I think so. I took some Lemsip before, but it hasn't helped too much. We are good. That's the thing. One of the nostrils completely fine, could breathe out of it. The other one, no chance. That one is about as block can be. Now, defensively in this game, we've seen quite a few mistakes being made, I would argue, because we did see, we saw 7 tries in that first half, and most of the time it was the Quins on that far side of the field, only about 5 metres out from their line, which was where the mistakes were being made. Gifted the French a couple tries. In fact, 3 tries coming at that side of the field, just being able to run it in from only a couple metres out from the try line. But I think someone that we needed to see more of probably Tyrone Green, also Lewis Liner, in terms of the Harlequins players that we didn't really get to see enough of throughout this game, as of yet anyway. And then for the French, I would like to see a bit more of Juan Cruz Malia. I think we saw him touch the ball once at the very start of the game, and then other than that, we have kind of seen him go a little bit non-existent. European or Asian half, Brian, from an Irishman in Istanbul, says Brian in there as well. Yeah, we got the highlights of New Zealand versus France in the Hong Kong Sevens, I believe it is. We will get some stats to do with this game as well, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I will mention I'm not always sick, I swear. Even though if you popped in about 3 weeks ago, I was also sick. But we try not to make not make a plan to be sick on these live streams. It's just the way it's worked out in recent history. Looking at some of the stats that we got at the moment. Meters made 260 for Toulouse compared to 148 of the Harlequins. We're seeing 7 clean breaks for Toulouse compared to the 1 of the Harlequins. 8 defenders compared to 6 in terms of the defenders beaten stat. And also territory is 54% in favour of Toulouse. So a little bit in their favour in a majority of the stats out there on the field. Defensively, we've seen a 91% tackle completion rate from Toulouse. And I don't care how good your attack is, if the opposition is tackling at more than 90%, you normally are going to be behind in a contest. And that is where the Harlequins find themselves at the moment, behind by the 19 points. But the discipline for penalties against both of these teams dominates possession as needed, says Blues Nate. And yeah, I think they've just allowed Antoine Dupont too much freedom in terms of being able to keep that attack flowing and pretty much just take the ball where he wants it to go. He scored himself 2 tries as well from just picking the ball up a couple metres out and putting it down on the line. Forwards working well for Toulouse. But second half, just around the corner, ladies and gents. Like I mentioned, such a speedy first half of that contest. We are not used to seeing a game have a 45-minute first half. Normally we see around 55 minutes. So it was a welcome change. But these are the benches for these two sides, ladies and gentlemen. Julien Marchand of the bench for Toulouse with Richie Arnold, as well as Choco Perez and Thomas Ramos. So a little bit of an Argentinian injection in this side. For the Quins, they've got the experienced header Joe Marler, also Chisholm and Porter available with Evans and Beard in the back replacements. One moment, we will once again mute. We are good, hopefully. Second half just around the corner. Yo says, yeah, welcome in, mate. Hope you have been keeping well and hope you are excited for the second half. I do apologise for my voice. I'm pretty sick at the moment, but hopefully that passes and we're good to go. Because on Tuesday, ladies and gents, we've got the Under-20 Rugby Championship where we are going to get to see New Zealand versus Argentina, as well as the game taking place between South Africa and Australia. Both games definitely intriguing, with the fact that New Zealand had a draw with the South Africans in the first contest. Argentina getting themselves a bonus point win over the Aussies, which I don't think anyone was really predicting for that contest. Definitely worth a visit. Feel free to hit us up for a few beers if you come. See, here's Ryan there. Yeah, I think second half, we might see a couple earlier changes for the Quins than we see for Toulouse, but I think in this game it's all about trying to outwork your opposition for the second 40. Harlequins just have to try and find a little bit more of a defensive pattern, I think. Because at the moment, it seems like Toulouse, when they attack in the middle, such as in that midfield with Paul Costes, who had a great first half, he just needs to be shut down a bit more, I think, if you're the Harlequins. Harlequins really need to improve on their defence around the breakdown. Both sides in attack have been great. And yeah, it just shows off the attacking prowess of not just Toulouse, but also the Harlequins in terms of the way that they are able to counter-attack. Like, Toulouse's counter-attack in this game has been sensational, and it's been one of the main reasons that we've seen them get quite a bit of success here. Quins need an early first-half try, says Yetta. But yeah, if they get a try now, like within the first 5 minutes, I would say, of the second half, they're still in the game. But any time during this game that they are more than 2 converted tries down, it's not going to be a fun time. They have to make sure that they get back within that margin. Of course, Kinghorn has missed a couple kicks, currently sitting 3 from 5, but those 4 extra points that he could have got could become extremely crucial as this match wears on. If there's ever a team to make a comeback, it's the Quins. Exactly right. Like, anyone who's watched them in the Gallagher Premiership knows that that side, even when they are down by a large margin, still somehow can come back in a contest. A moment, I will mute myself again. I think this is the most that I've had to blow my nose ever on a live stream, and we're only at half time, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, other than the fact that my nose is running flat out from the cold, like, I'm fine, I'm feeling good. It's currently 3 a.m. in New Zealand, but I wouldn't think it. I feel like it's a nice time to go for an afternoon walk. Once again, I feel like I could have drunk that whole thing. Wow. I do look like I'm oiled up, ladies and gentlemen. That is like Vicks Vapor Rub. It's the stuff that you put on to try and help clear your nose. But I'm so shiny. Look at that. I don't know how to feel about it. I feel like I'm like Hulk Hogan from back in the day. That I should be flexing my muscles, calling everyone brother and taking steroids. We have got their Quins need 2 early tries and luck, such as a penalty try, says Jonathan Manson. Yeah, a penalty try would be helpful, and the Quins must score first. If they have any chance of winning this game, says Morne Lagrange. Yeah, they have to be the first try scorers in the second half. If they don't, they're in a lot of trouble. And, you know, like we said though, if any side is going to be able to do it, it is the Quins. I've seen it time and time again. Did you know that Brave won the Champions Cup back in 1997? I did not know. Quite impressive. I know that Northampton have had quite a wait to be able to win a Champions Cup, and unfortunately for them, they were knocked out in the end by Leinster. I feel like I have to change the angle. That's just too shiny for my liking. To be honest, I can blame lighting, but at the same time, it feels weird. What's the temperature outside of New Zealand? It is currently 4 degrees Celsius. So, I don't know. I don't actually know what type of... Do you guys do Fahrenheit where you are? Holy shit. You put a tea cozy on that nose. Says buttered beans. Yeah, it's pretty sore at the moment, to be fair. And thank you guys, Seb Sad Trag. What is that, temp outside? Oh no, I read that one. Nothing wrong with a few steroids. We'll go degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. Just in case you guys are... So it's 39 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius here. At the moment, Fletcher wants me to take steroids because I'm too skinny, says Sebastian there. I just don't take as many as some of the wrestlers did back in the day. Is probably the recommendation I would give you. But second half, just about here in this contest, ladies and gentlemen. We have had, it's about a 15-minute break at the moment. So, yeah, there we go. They're just running back out onto the field once more now. Getting ready to go for the second half. A moment, we will quickly blow our nose again before the start of the second. Hopefully that will be the last time, but it probably won't be. We are good. I am just really hoping that my nose does not start bleeding, or else that's going to make this very difficult. It's called Harlequins really this bad? Scoreboard says, I'd say no. I feel like they've had some pretty good moments throughout that first half, the Quins. They've had a couple unlucky tries scored against them as well, such as when they're only 5 metres out from their line and the ball's just kind of popped out the side and Toulouse have scored it, or, you know, Toulouse get that one big line break and then score it with DuPont around the side of the breakdown. So I would say no, they aren't as bad as the scoreline says, but it also is a massive credit to the way that Toulouse have been able to attack. It's kicked off now by the Quins, and we are underway for the second half, ladies and gentlemen. I just joined the same as just sneezing, says Grant there. It's been a brutal stream, Grant. I'll be honest, there's been a lot of a lot of stoppages for ourselves, not just the game. Game's actually been pretty free-flowing. It's going to be back into the pocket, kick down the middle of the park. Oh, wait, is it in Stade de France? It's not, no, but I just like the look of the stadium, so I put it behind me. Now, Marcus Smith kicking it downfield, cleaned up by Roman Intermac at the back. Sounded like referee telling a few of the Toulouse players to stop chasing it. Here comes Tyrone Green, moving up to the halfway line. Almost a dumping tackle on him by Peter Aki. Forcing that early physicality that Toulouse have kind of brought to not just this game, but also to a majority of their matches this year in the top 14. Marcus Smith getting a quick pass away there for Murley. Now Danny Kerr, again going to the right-hand side. Good hands from Marcus Smith. The pass wasn't actually meant for him, but it worked out to go straight to him. Hopefully you get some rest, Hamish. This weekend has been rough on you. Yeah, it's been pretty brutal. So hopefully I can catch up on some sleep over the next 2 or so days. But yeah, it's been a lot more difficult streaming this week than when I was sick 3 weeks ago. Because 3 weeks ago, I didn't have my nose running constantly. Like, that was fine. I felt like the throat was brutal, but other than that, I was all good. Whereas today, it's just my nose won't stop watering, unfortunately. And due to that, it is about as red as a cherry tomato, which is probably as painful as it looks. But just going to be knocked on, I believe, from one Cruz Melio. Was it knocked on by Andre Estes? And I think it was a little bit of both from those two men. But the ball is actually going to be the scrum feed now for the Harlequins. Sitting about 40 metres out from Toulouse's line. As long as it's not brain matter coming out, Hamish. I hope not. I like to think that we aren't quite at that stage as of yet. If we are, that would not be ideal. I don't know if COVID's still around, but probably not. Says yet 3 weeks ago was for why I was sick. But then, yeah, this time not. It's just a flu, I think. Oh, that was a deliberate knockdown there from Jack Willis. In fact, he's come from an offside position as well. That was almost bad for Jack Willis. Oh, okay, they actually said it wasn't against Willis. It was actually for the scrum there. What's the front row? Oh, no. They've just said that Willis, if he hadn't come around the way that he did, it wouldn't have been a penalty, but he's not the guy who infringed, if that makes sense. The rugby field behind Hamish is where South Africa won the 2023 Rugby World Cup, says Mornay. Should I change it? I should probably change it, shouldn't I, Mornay? But now, Danny Kerr, little short pop pass up for the Harlequins. Danny Kerr, short ball again, going to Jack Walker. Now, Danny Kerr, pop pass up for Evans. They're getting closer, looking for an offload here. Managing to keep this ball alive. Cutting him south, 5 metres from the try line now for the Harlequins. Do you dare change it, Hamish? Says Grant. I was going to change it to Cape Town, Grant. I'm sure you would have loved that more. Another advantage. Going the way of the Harlequins. Cutting himself. Dragged down. Now short ball. It's loose and the penalty goes the way of the Quins. And baby hotter than hot. Hamish, you don't need anything. Just okay as he is. Says Ruth. I wouldn't mind a non-block nose if I could pick something. That would be quite nice. It looks like the Harlequins are going to kick this one for the corner again here. And once again, for anyone who is just tuning in now, I can only apologise for the amount that we've had to mute throughout this live stream when we're blowing our nose or coughing or anything along those lines. We would normally have been a little bit healthier, I would like to think, over the weekend, but in this case, it's just been a bit brutal over this weekend. That one's going to be thrown in. And early pre-engagement from Toulouse, which means the Harlequins get to have another crack at this rolling ball, which did actually score them their last try. They've got the penalty advantage. Andre Estes tries to boot in behind. He's dragged down a metre from the try line. Danny Kerr. Nice bit of dodging there. Marcus Smith, cut-out pass. And the Harlequins. Oh, Murley. He's had a crack at that one, and he has scored the try for the Quins. And we're just checking it, and they have said that it is the try. I say leave the sneezing and coughing unmuted. No, that's a bit brutal, Grant. Anyone just tuning in will be like, ooh. And great, says Brian. UIC starts next weekend. I can't wait for next weekend. You'll get to see more South African sides in action, that is for sure, than this weekend. That'll mean that they're fresh, raring to go for those matches. Cutting himself as an absolute unit. He's a big boy, isn't he? And their Harlequins loose forward trio. And the fact that they've also got Dombrand in there, like they're pretty well set up at the moment. Will Evans in between them at 7. A great finish from Murley. Exactly what we needed to keep this game interesting. Oh, we take you snot and all, Hamish. Says Grant. You might just be one of the more committed ones, Grant, I would say. Not everyone, I don't think, would agree. Now Marcus Smith lining up this kick. I'll get another drink, which will hopefully help. You guys see me miss my mouth with that. That is a great kick from Marcus Smith right near the touchline and still manages to get that ball over. So that will now make the score 31 points to 19. What's your favourite French name, Hamish? Jacques, Sebastian, Antoine. Lots of tissues, says Ruth. Yeah, at the moment the channel's weekend budget has just gone towards tissues and Lemsips to try and stop my cold. We are good, hopefully. French, says Sebastian. Sebastian, no, that's still not really. Oh, maybe a little bit of French in there, depending on how you say it. Oh, tip tackle there in the breakdown from one of the Toulouse players. We kicked high from Danny Kerr. 48 minutes into this contest at the moment. And I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Harlequins need to be the next side to score. Oh, she bloody didn't. She bloody didn't, says Sebastian there. Stormers are playing 2 away games, if I'm not mistaken. Says Morne the Great. They're trying to get into the breakdown was Alex Dombrand. But Dupont manages to claim that ball for Toulouse and keep it moving forward. Once again, Hamish, thank you for your service. Be sure to take care of yourself, says Gus. But yeah, I promise I will rest up tomorrow so that we are ready to go for the Under-20s Rugby Championship on Tuesday. I know Seb don't have a problem with his name being French, says Grant. And no wonder Jake White don't like this cup. You must play away all games if you make the semis. If you are from South Africa, says Outlaw. Yeah, although to be fair, like a lot of sides are in away situations as well, but there was that written rule, wasn't it, for the first, I think it was 2 years of the Champions and Challenge Cup. Like the South African games did have to be away from home. I think eventually they are looking at bringing them to South Africa if the South African sides have got their on-field advantage. But in this case, I don't think we actually saw any time that it would have been a factor. Now, passed on the outside to Tyrone Green. Still in the possession of the Harlequins, and they've had a lot more of this ball throughout the second half. Marcus Smith going back across to Herbst. Now, Danny Kerr again goes across to Baxter. Flat ball from Smith to Ryan. Oh, I almost said Ryan Oosterhuizen, but I meant Andre Esterhuizen. Now flicked out the door for Lewis Liner. Marcus Smith busts through one tackle and off his feet from Juan Cruz Malia. Penalty every day of the week to the Harlequins. And I don't know how that hasn't become a penalty. And it's going to be a scrum fee for Toulouse. That is a ridiculous call up against the Quins there. Called it as the unplayable. We're going to see the replay here. So Juan Cruz Malia, first of all, misses a tackle. Oh no, he gets the tackle, but it was off to the side. We're going to see a replay now. And off his feet. Yeah. Flopped over the top. Commentators are just seeing it, saying that it was bad. Oh, they're just showing there was a little bit of contact on Antoine Dupont's head from Alex Domrant down the field. But yeah, I think that was a pretty unlucky one for the Quins. They could have ended up with that penalty. But instead, they find themselves now with Toulouse getting down towards the halfway line. Looks like Joe Marler making his way onto the field. Pietro Malvaca coming off for Julio Malchon. Not exactly a bad change to make if you are the French. At the moment in the odds, of course, the Harlequins are underdogs, as they would be sitting 12 points down. And I hope next year BC Champions Cup final can be played in Cape Town. Wouldn't that be something? Of course, they would have to be in there for the Stormers if they want to have it in Cape Town. Just anywhere in South Africa for a semi-final would be quite cool. One moment. There we go. They are just talking about the fact that the Harlequins fullback are not happy with that last decision. And to be fair, they don't really have to be, because it was illegal from Juan Cruz Malia, but it's won the ball for Toulouse. Now you're talking, says Grant. Are there no South African teams in the finals? There is not, no. The closest that there was the Bulls in the quarterfinals, before they were knocked out by the Saints, who won it 59 points to 22, I believe, was the score in that one. Kick down the field. It's gone into touch. The Quins will not take this one quickly. My nostril is very well blocked. Yes, but Grant is something else. I was expecting more from you. And who will win Glasgow or the Bulls, Hamish? It's going to be a good game. I think that the Bulls should take it. But, you know, Glasgow are a challenging side, so they can't really be underestimated, even if they're away from home. But, yeah, I'd probably still go the Bulls. Now, Toulouse currently in possession, about 30 metres out from their own line. Especially, I never use the word disappointed ever. It's too disappointing, says Ruth. Now, it looks like they have been able to get this one back under their control, Toulouse, after a little bit of a scrappy few moments. The Harlequins were looking to get their ball straight back. Now taken inside of his own half here, Tyrone Green going to the short side, looking for the offload, finds Lewis Liner, who now carves on the inside. And this is beautifully done. Look for the pass. He's been cleaned out afterwards as well. But the ball is loose. Danny Keir went for the ball, but he had to go round the referee, which delayed him just enough for it to be back into the hands of Toulouse. You have disappointed me, Ruth, utterly and completely. Seb doesn't like being called French, it would seem. Just at a guess, you know. Now on the halfway line again. Big run up the middle from Finn Baxter. Passes away to Murley, who is in the midfield, about 15 metres out from the line in front of the posts. And the chance now for the Quins. Beautiful flat run from Tyrone Green. That was a thing of beauty, and they're back in the game, the Quins. If any side were going to do it in the second half, it was going to be the Quins, ladies and gentlemen, and they are now back in this game just that little bit more. Tyrone Green scores the flat try. It's times like these when you have a cold, when you think that maybe Voldemort was onto something, having less of a nose. But that is a brilliant pass. And then Walker goes down, and then great flat run. Tyrone Green was actually the man who started that whole play. That's incredible, says Brian, and try in there as well. No one likes being called French, says Grant. But yeah, great ball from Danny Keir as well to spot him on the inside. They're back in it, ladies and gentlemen. 31-26. It's going to go down to the wire. Like they've just said, 19 points down at halftime. Let's get a Quinn, says Blue Snow. Thomas Ramos now making his way onto the field. And like they've said, it's to try and add a little bit of stability and order in the way that this Toulouse side have been playing, because there have been mistakes coming and it's been hurting them quite badly. And Quinn's kicking back. Yikes. Referee needs a kick in the nuts. So here's Ruth. That's going to be kicked off very long. Now, running forward, here comes Alex Dombrand. In fact, this time it's actually going to be Will Evans. Dombrand pushed to his bottom by Julien Marchand. What if Voldemort's snot comes out of his ears, though? Yeah, actually, maybe I wouldn't take that instead. That would be a bit rank, as they say. Although I don't think the Wizards use the term rank, do they? Now going off to the left-hand side, Ramos. Look for the ball on the outside. Struggling to breathe at the moment, but the players, of course, will be feeling the same thing, just in a different way. Tyrone Green used to play for the Lions in South Africa. Says Peter Mason. And the Harlequins is making another comeback, says Mona Lagrange. And the Harlequins have actually got themselves another penalty there. 25 minutes remaining. Roman Intermac was the player who went in off his feet. This game is not over. And there's still plenty of time for the Quins to be able to get one more try back. So far, we have seen 9 tries in this contest. It has been a seesaw of a game. I feel like that is the way it's going to remain for the rest of this contest. There's a French kid's book with a dog in it called Sebastian. There's Fleshin. Looks like Richie Arnold now. Toulouse are looking like they're starting to make a few slightly panicked substitutions, as if to say the second half has not gone the way that they would have talked about in the halftime break. And now they are trying their best to be able to adjust and, I guess, fix that momentum shift that we have seen, all in favour of the Harlequins. But 40 metres out from the line. Now, running forward was Jack Walker. That's still going to be in the hands of Danny Kerr. Going to the right-hand side. Great tackle on Dombrand. Now a bit of a sell of the dummy from the big man, Will Collier. Dave, don't you make me if my turnip. Oh, you used his first name. It's getting serious. A great game, 57 points. My 70-point game prediction might be close, says Brian. Little kick in behind there. And it's gone into touch. 5 metres out from Toulouse's line. Very good strategic kick there from Marcus Smith. They've taken it quickly. They look towards the touchline and do put that ball out. We are all right, I hope. And never play with vegetables, says Grant. Andre Estes, I think he might have taken a big shot there from Roman Intermac. Just showing the replay there. I wish they're calling me French. But if they call you French and you're not French, Sebastian, then I don't know what to say because I haven't really been called French much. Hamish isn't a very French name, whereas Sebastian is just so French, isn't it? I am, of course, joking, Seb. I know you are Romanian, born and bred. Born and bred is very close, well, close to born and bred, isn't it? Can Harlequins win? I think they've got a decent chance in this game. Like they've made a decent comeback. They were down by 19 at half-time to now be sitting where they are in this match. It is pretty impressive. Another inside ball to Danny Kerr. Still 22 minutes left. Cutting himself, makes his way forward. I'm glad you're right, Hamish. And with Sepia, being called French is a crime against humanity. Says Grant. Sebastian isn't boring enough to be French. It's a nice one. Now Smith goes off to Tyrone Green. Only 15 metres out from the line. Hamish is Scottish. Says Karma Peach. Joe Marler. That's great work though on the breakdown. And Toulouse get themselves the penalty. Dorian Heldegri, a man who has been struggling throughout this game at scrum time, has now won one of the most crucial turnovers for his side. I know now Hamish is piling on too. And I'm not just French. I'm also now I'm not just French. I'm also inbred. This hasn't gone according to plan at all. Yeah, sorry about that one. That one about being inbred was just a little bit of a stray. It was just a miswording, I would say. Born and bred. Eh? What a saying. That's gone into Dutch from Roman Intermac. They're just showing there that Toulouse have won all 15 of their home games this season, but they haven't played the Quins at home. And the Quins are just an annoying enigma in a second half that just never quite stop pressuring you. It looks like the sub is about to be made for Toulouse. Once again, trying to get a few more men off the bench, get them out on the field to change the momentum. Second half, in terms of the possession stat, 77% in favour of the Harlequins. That gives them a very good shot of being able to get back into this game. But looping around now for Toulouse, this is their first real attacking chance. If you had to bet on one team, who would you choose? I do not bet on games because it is so unpredictable. I assume that's what you were getting at when you were asking, can the Harlequins win? You're probably asking who you should put your money on, but I won't give you a tip, only because one time someone asked who would win, and I said who I thought would win. They got very angry that they put money on it and that team lost, and then I got a whole heap of death and bomb threats, so I decided, no, we'll be all right with giving people predictions. So that's why we don't do it very often, because I don't like getting those. Come on, Quins, let's get it. Which one's for breakfast? Probably an orange, to be honest, probably. Get a bit of vitamin C, fair enough, says Martin. Was that what you were referring to, though, Martin? Are you hoping to put a bet on for this game, out of curiosity? But 20 minutes remaining. And the Harlequins with another line out here. Going to the right-hand side, Marcus Smith, short ball to Andre Esterhuizen. Oh, stepped off there in the breakdown, so they don't actually end up getting penalised there, the Harlequins. Now Danny Kerr, and behind him Marcus Smith, flat ball from Aaron Cunningham himself. Now pop pass, back up, Marcus Smith sold the dummy. And that one's going to be the knock on. If you're threatening people with bombs because the sports news wasn't what you wanted, probably need to learn some emotional regulations, zoinks, says the scrum less. I have some balls some balls to say that, or maybe not, says Brian. Oh, now you're getting strays from Brian as well. It's a hard day at the office for you, Seb. Seems like everyone's having a bit of a crack at you. Oh, they're talking about Nepo Lalala. Is he coming off the bench? He wasn't in the initial lineup, I don't think, for Toulouse. No, I'm just catching up with the game and the score is close, says Martin. But yeah, it's one of those ones that Harlequins are definitely a second half side, so got to keep a close eye on them for the last 18 minutes. We are good. Dream match versus Peak Crusaders. Ooh. Hey, what, that would be a good game. And eventually, who knows, maybe could take place. That's a good shot coming in. Now back across to the side. Ricciano, that's stolen by the Harlequins. Toulouse are being told to leave it. And it just seems like every time they've got a face-to-face and a breakdown, the Harlequins are the side that are coming out with the ball. Let them come at me, mate. I've got thick skin. And either way, the final is going to be great, says Yetta. Yeah, it's just more of a question of will it be almost more of an English home final, or is it going to be a neutral ground for Leinster versus Toulouse? 17 minutes left. Thanks for giving that. No worries, Martin. It is good to see you on the stream as well. Hopefully you have been enjoying the commentary, even though I've been looking pretty rough on this one because of the sickness, but I'm good overall, hopefully. Will Porter, oh, that's a big change. They've taken Danny Kerr off the field now for the Harlequins. I'm not sure if that's the right decision, to be honest. Like, I feel like that's one of those ones that could end up heavily backfiring, depending on, of course, how it goes. One moment, we will go like that. And like that as well. There we go. Now Roman Intermac is making his way onto the field. Well, he has been on the field, I should say. He's making his way back to number 10's position. This is a weird second half for Toulouse, to be honest. Like, they look like they were so in control for that first 40 minutes. Even at the times when the Quins were scoring, it seemed like they still had a relatively nice hold of the game. But the second half has just been anything but controlled for Toulouse. Being called French is uncalled for. Says Grant there. Now the rolling maul for Toulouse. I'm looking out for Roman Intermac here. He's had quite a quiet game as the French fly half. Antoine Dupont, though, he has had a busy contest. Scotland always take George Horn off, even though he's our best scrum half, says Power by close to the touchline. Oh, that may have just brushed Willis's leg. I think that's going to be a Quins line out here. Deniker might be injured. That would be, for me, the only reason why you take him off at this moment, because he has been really important for the way that Harlequins have been able to counter-attack in this game. I feel like without having him onto the field, like you're leaving yourself in a bit of trouble. They're just showing there. Okay, it's actually going to be a knock-on to rate Jalibert over Intermac. I honestly think that Jalibert, in terms of what he did in the French kit, in the Six Nations, I thought he was pretty solid. And Intermac, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because before his injury, he was regarded as that best option. But since watching Jalibert and watching Intermac in this game, like, he just hasn't really controlled the game in the way that we are used to seeing him control. And that could be down to the way that the Quins are playing, making it quite difficult for them to be able to counter. "16 minutes left on the clock now. We are going to have ourselves another scrum reset here. I'm just saying, another quick reset. And Edinburgh always replace Valcott with Ali Price, even though Valcott is better. Feel for care, says Powerbite. And yeah, it must be hard if you're not injured and you're sitting watching from the bench now for Deniker. And you know that you've emptied your gas tank on the field and you had a little bit more left in the tank that you wanted to use up. But now you have to watch from the sideline and wait to see whether or not your side are going to cause a massive upset in the Champions Cup. Again, the scrum is a little bit shaky, but that is what happens when you put 930 kgs against 930 kgs. Off the back there, Antoine Dupont shut down early by the replacement halfback for the Harlequins. There we go. But like they've said, Harlequins to even make this close have had to do so much throughout this game. Definitely the second half. Like those two tries in the first half, even though it seemed like they were miles behind, it kept them close enough. Currently only 5 points difference between these two sides. Now going for the kick downfield. That one hasn't found touch. It's now Toulouse will be able to go for the counter-attack. Some great pace shown there from Ramos, who has made his way onto the field. Still feel like there's quite a bit left in the tank for these two sides. You look like you need a good night's sleep. Well, I'm very sick at the moment, so that's probably why as well. Peter Aki offloading it away to Blair Kinghorn. 14 minutes remaining, and the penalty goes the way of Toulouse. Now, this is a situation that, first of all, they'll look to see if there was foul play on Antoine Dupont, but second of all, they will also check how far out this is for Toulouse. Will they go for the 3 points perhaps here? Looks like Dupont might have the tears in the eyes there, Dupont, with the way he was connected with. Yeah, that's a good shot. In terms of a good shot to get you yellow is what I meant there. Like, that is a hard contact to Dupont's head. Yeah, that's bad. That's probably a red card for the Harlequins. I think it's Jack Walker. He might find himself going to the bin. They are checking the TMO now. This could be a bad one for the Harlequins, and this could take their momentum away that they've worked so hard over the last little while to be able to create. They're just talking about how Louis has actually called the team together as if to say that they know that they're going to be a man down. But it was pretty bad. The shot coming in from Jack Walker on Antoine Dupont. Okay, Andrew Brace here has said he went for a normal clean out, but he's a little bit reckless with what he's done. He still makes head contact. They might give him a yellow card at best, but I think at worst it's going to be a red card. For now, it's going to be a yellow though, and then they will have about the 7 or so minutes to decide if it is worthy of being upgraded. And same shot happened on Dupont in the Exeter game, says Anthony. Now the TMO, looking at it 5 times over. In real speed, it looks pretty ugly for that one. Yeah, just hits him on the forehead, Antoine Dupont. They send him off. Does that mean Kerr can come back on? Possibly not. It is the hooker. Okay, Andrew Brace has said that he is at a yellow card. Is that the way that it's going to remain? I think the crowd will boo it when it's a yellow because they will feel like it should be a red, but I think that they've got time to be able to upgrade it to a red card. The crowd are booing, but I believe this competition does follow the same rules as... Oh no, it's just 10 minutes rather than going on report. And like they've said, it was careless, so it is a yellow card, but that will hurt the Harlequins. So I've just said there he's making a fair attempt at going for a clean out. It's just the fact that Antoine Dupont's head was in the way, is I guess the description there. And the French have a storied history of waving the white flag. Come on, says Katsanel. Now Toulouse have decided to actually kick for the corner here, rather than going for the 3 points, which would have given them a 7-point lead. They have instead decided that the 7 is the better option. Dupont might still be feeling the World Cup injury. Cheekbones heal slowly, says Gus. A big rolling ball here for Toulouse. Julien Marchand taken down nicely. Dupont fires it across to Peter Aki in the midfield. Quick hands from Toulouse. Out the back line. Ramos with one more pass. And Juan Cruz Malia will score the try for Toulouse. And is that now going to be enough to be able to score this game or to finish this game for this Toulouse side? They needed a big play and they've got it right there. Juan Cruz Malia, a man who at halftime I said we hadn't seen anywhere near enough, and perhaps that is the most important time that we could have seen him scoring a last-minute try. Well, last minute, there's still 12 minutes remaining in this contest, but the rolling maul was looking very strong. Julien Marchand was there, and Boo Harlequins Boo, says Justin. And that's it now, probably if you go to the supermarket in France. It's very cheap, you can find for €1 a bottle, says James Mack there. But Juan Cruz Malia, does he get up and go again? Is that the nail in the coffin? It's going to be close to it, I would say. But once again, though, the Harlequins are a very hard side to predict whether or not that is going to be the end of the game or not. They'll use up every second that they can of this one. We got the Damo, g'day, man. Oh, sorry, I said that terribly. G'day, man. This is the Hulkster from Hong Kong Sevens. Just wanted to say thanks for those shout-outs. Yes, Jim for the Hong Kong Sevens and Halloween. I've just worked out who you are because they actually still show the replay of that game on New Zealand TV. But, yeah, you were pretty popular throughout that weekend. I hope you are keeping well. Are you a Hong Kong local, I guess? Or are you from all around the world? I actually, believe it or not, I feel really bad because I didn't get a chance to reply, but I did see that you did post a message a while ago, and I actually ended up checking out your channel. One of them anyway that you did have a couple videos on. But yeah, I hope you are keeping well. You have been enjoying the Sevens. Has been taking place. Kiwi. Oh, so you went to went to Hong Kong for the Hong Kong Sevens specifically? It's quite cool. Living in Japan. Ah, okay. Nice. But yeah, I think that you were probably the most popular costume at the Sevens overall. Hopefully you did enjoy the Singapore Sevens as well. It just took place. Unfortunately, we've actually been sick for both of those 2 legs of the Sevens, but we'll be better hopefully for the finals that are taking place in Madrid and every year. Nice. Such a party atmosphere for that one as well. Nice kicking behind for Antoine Dupont. Nicely claimed there by Tyrone Green at the back for the Harlequins. Chance to counter-attack here, and they need another try as they are down by 12. Manages to find the offload to Lewis Liner. Porter going on the outside. Tyrone Green takes a massive shot there. Quins, even though they're down to 14, they don't seem like they want to give up in this contest. They've still got a little bit more. That looked like another close illegal clean out. And Burma, whoever wins this battle, deserves it. It's not his face. Again, Shane Dupont. Says Roof, that's going to be kicked downfield. Tyrone Green takes it very quickly. Just got a new pair of Wabaki in Japan. Says Justin, that's going to be a 4 pass from the Quins. Now 9 minutes remaining. Oh, a little bit of afters there from Julio Mochon. It's a bit fired up, and he may have just injured Murley in the process of celebration. And it's so expensive to drink in New Zealand and Australia. Europe is basically free, says James Mack. You know, it's slightly ironic. My nose is almost clear now. It's taken 72 minutes of this contest before my nose is like, you know what? We're going to be all right. Hey, howdy, hey, brother. Hope it's a beautiful day in Japan for you. Are you a sumo fan too? The May Hon Bus show is about to start in a week. Says Katie there. Another question for you, Damo. Just while you're here. Do you always dress as Hulk Hogan each year? Or do you go as... I think they said on one of the days, wear your Macho Man as well. Let's see if your nose is clear. No, we won't test that. And would either of these teams beat Leinster? It's a tricky one. I feel like the Harlequins would be that unpredictable side of things if they were to go head-to-head with Leinster, whereas Toulouse, you know what you're going to get, which is a very physical game, and, you know, it'll be pretty close. Chibro, originally from Hawaii. Well, there we go. No matter where you look in the world, you always seem to be able to find a New Zealander or two. Franz Malharba would make a solid sumo wrestler, says Justin. I love Harlequins, says Mad Dog. Now they are going to need a try very soon. Andrew Braces is frustrated with the 4-pack, saying that they're both just falling into the scrum, which isn't adding a lot of stability for them. And this one, feel like a yellow card has been the decider, says Anthony. And yeah, unfortunately, you just can't afford to go in the way that they did it. And good on you, mate. Keep up the solid work, says Sebastian. Yeah, the fact that you're still making the highlight reel on, like, New Zealand TV, they probably showed your highlights not too long ago, actually, earlier today, in the gap. Now, going off to the left-hand side, big wide cutout pass for Toulouse. They're looking to make this a little bit more one-sided. Blair Kinghorn decides against the offload. They move into the 22 now of the Harlequins. Big man Richie Arnold, the Aussie international, gets left behind here for the replacement flanker. They do have to release him. If the Harlequins give away a penalty here, they will more than likely find themselves at the end. Oh, they've got themselves the penalty. I was about to say, if they give away a penalty, Toulouse would take the 3 and it will be over. I have various Hogan outfits and 3 Macho Man outfits. I upgrade my gears every year. Nice. So I assume massive wrestling fan from back in the day. Do you still watch it now, or are you only kind of old school wrestling as you go to? Big shot coming in from the side. Hitting him right in the legs and knocking it from out underneath them. Managing to then win that big turnover for the Harlequins. Now line out throw here for, I think that is Sam Riley. That's going to be nicely slapped away for the Harlequins. Back across to the left-hand side. The ball's loose again. And a sick Rambo outfit. My job in Japan is touring guide, or is tour guiding those, the Mario Karts, like the ones that drive around the street. Those seem dangerous, but you probably don't have as many accidents with them as people expect. Going back across to the right-hand side. With the pass to Tyrone Green. Grab it forward. Be only around 10 metres out. In fact, it's going to roll right to the goal area of Toulouse, who now look for the clearing kick They get the ball into touch, and it is a nice clearance, about 37 metres out. The NWO, Hollywood Hogan is the best, says Sebastian. 5.5 minutes remaining. I'm an 80s boy, I only watched back in the day. That's fair enough. I feel like that's the best era to watch it. Even though I'm like younger, like my dad would always say about kind of that era as like the best one with the Macho Man, Hogan, Andre the Giant, Ted DiBiase, all those legends. 5 minutes left. The Harlequins are down by 12, which isn't the best margin to have when you've only got 5 minutes remaining. But once again, we've said it all throughout this half. If any team can do it, it is this Harlequins side. They've done it time and time again. And now they're in the situation now. They've got to do it in one of the biggest games. The Bushwhackers, yep, a couple Kiwis. One of them actually passed away last year, didn't he? One of the Bushwhackers. I can't remember if it was Luke or Butch. I think it was Butch. I could be wrong there. Now thrown in to the front, nicely taken by the Quins. 5 minutes left. Marcus Smith, flat ball. Ball's bounced out the back door, but it is regathered. Oh, how's that a knock on? Did that not go backwards? Oh, knock on into a Toulouse player. So that's why it looked like it went backwards, because it did hit a player. They are just showing there Lewis Liner. He's made his way from the field. The Iron Sheik, the most mental bloke ever, says Sebastian. I was just thinking that hard on joints. WWF demolition. Axe and smash. We thought about doing a couple wrestling watch-alongs back in the day, but we haven't really gone round to do it as of yet. Feel like if we were going to, though, we'd have to do the old school stuff. I wish you deserve the Iron Man Miffley. You've done great even when you're sick. Yeah, it's been a long weekend. My nose hasn't stopped running until now, which is really frustrating that it's decided to stop at the end of this game rather than at the start of the game when it was going flat out. Andrew Brace once again telling the Quins to control their weight at the front of the scrum. It's been even at times, but Toulouse at one moment did have a bit of a disadvantage at scrum time. I meant medal, sorry, says Ruth. Now 4 minutes remaining. Francois Crew. And good description, scrum lass. Says Gus. There as well. The French crowd singing the French national anthem. They are pretty confident that they're going to be able to walk away with a win here, but that is going to be a knock-on this time coming from Toulouse, and I just jinxed it about my nose. But it's not quite as bad as it was before, so we'll take that. Now going to the left-hand side. Run forward from, I believe that would have been Ross Chisholm. Still 3 minutes on the clock. DuPont is built like a bulldozer, no stopping him. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the footage of when Macho got on the big screen on the Saturday morning. I was holding up two cute chicks, says Adamo. See, I don't think I got to see that one. Do you know what match it was during that you would have ended up on the screen, Damo? I know that they've been showing the final quite a bit here in New Zealand where you did the shirt rippers, Hogan. Did you manage to find that one? Come back across to the left-hand side. That looked a little bit high. So it is. Is it the advantage to Harlequins? No, it's not. It is going to be play on now, going down the wing again. Ball's still there. 2.5 minutes left. This clock's going very slow at the moment, that is for sure. Joe Marler, breaking 3 tackles, manages to still find an offload. And that looks close to Toulouse with the counter-arc. Penalty goes the way of the Quins. Do they want to take it quickly? Oh, Ramos just got slapped in the back of the head by Joe Marler. And like they've said, that was dumb from Marler, because now they'll have a look at it, and if they see that he slapped him in the back of the head, that could get the penalty reversed. Yeah, it's going to become a penalty against 17 being Joe Marler here. Slaps Ramos in the back of the head. Penalty is reversed. Really dumb move from Joe Marler. He's not happy about it. Ramos has done brilliantly with that one. He's saying, well, you shouldn't have done it. And that is not going to cause too many people to be friends at the end of this game, that is for sure. But that was the chance for the Quins to get back into this and be within 7. Marler's always doing something stupid. Says Brian. That one's going to be kicked into touch by Roman Intermac. Marler's the biggest idiot in English rugby. Owen Smith's so scared to be tackled, says Dragonfire. Yeah, there it is. Just slapping him in the back of the head from Marler. Joe, you dingbat. Good on you, Joe. Sod him. Someone slapped Joe Marler. And yeah, got the day 3 stuff and the final shirt rip during the USA game. I had no idea about when it was. JD call us for breakfast. Says Damon. Yeah, I'm sure if you were lifting up 2 ladies, then you probably would have gotten on the big screen quite often. Marcus F. off, says Bertrand. And Marler's one worshipped, or the most worshipped and annoying player in English rugby. Says Powerbite and Hamish and Kiwi lads, thank you. Says Brian, but now 45 seconds remaining, and the only chance for the Harlequins was if Joe Marler did not do that silly play of giving away that penalty. But now the Harlequins, hang on, that was almost their penalty. The ball's come back out the side. There's no impulse control whatsoever. And thank you very much for great commentary this weekend, says Brian. No worries at all. We will be back on Tuesday for the Under-20 Rugby Championship. And also alongside that, we are going to be having the game taking place on Friday. Will be the next one after that. The slap on the head ultimately decided the game. It's going to. I honestly feel like if the Harlequins had kicked that one for the corner, they would have had a pretty good shot of getting back into this game. Oh, they're March 4-10. There's no time left on the clock. Looks like Tyrone Green wants to take the quick tap. He's well and truly isolated himself. And Dupont in through the side of the breakdown. Apparently he's gone through the gate. How wide is that gate is the bigger question. Second that, commentating is a talent, says Damo. And there's all his humour and his hotness and what saves him from being fired out of the cannon into the sun. And Lewis Rees-Zammit is also very overrated. Will go nowhere in the NFL. Well, he's at least signed with the Chiefs. Like, that's one bonus for him. It's just whether or not he actually gets into the main squad, which I think is announced in about 4 months' time. At the end of this game, ladies and gentlemen, the Harlequins, they have suffered the defeat, 38 points to 26. And in the end, all it was that decided this game was a little slap on the back of the head. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning into this contest. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Like I mentioned, Under-20 Rugby Championship is going to be taking place on Tuesday night New Zealand time, or Tuesday morning for you guys in South Africa and the Northern Hemisphere. We're also going to have Super Rugby next weekend, the URC as another competition, and then, of course, plenty of other games along the way as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Once again, I know you're probably sick of hearing me say it, but I do apologise for the fact that I've been sick throughout this weekend. Ideally, we wouldn't have wanted to sound a little bit funny with the sore throat. Ideally, we wouldn't have wanted our nose to run the whole time throughout this weekend, but it's still very much appreciative of you guys tuning in throughout the weekend, even with the difficulties that have occurred throughout the weekend. And hopefully we will see you guys next weekend when I am much better and we won't have as much of a red nose. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all for the next one.